Yes, dear students, welcome back. Now I am continuing with the same chapter, that is agriculture. Yes, dear students, that you know that we are having different types of agriculture, like the agriculture that is the science and art of cultivation. The definition is cultivation on the soil, raising crops and rearing livestock. It is also called farming. Definition. These definitions can come in 1 mark or maybe in the MCQ form. Sericulture means commercial rearing of silkworms. Yes, my dear students, rearing of silkworms, it also maybe supplement the income of the farmer. Means simultaneously they are growing crops and they are also rearing of silkworms. Like some people, they are rearing the animals also, and some are rearing the silkworm also. Then the pisciculture means the breeding of fish in specially constructed tanks and ponds. Yes, dear students, the pisciculture means they are providing a proper environment to the fishes, and they first of all they catch the fishes, some of the fishes, and then they uh, put them into a pond, or you can say the artificial tanks, where the fishes they reproduce the other fishes, and these fishes can be used or can be sold in the market later on. So that is means they are fishes, they are producing the other fishes for the purpose of the selling in the market. So that is called pisciculture. Next is the viticulture, means the cultivation of grapes. Next, last one is the horticulture, that means growing vegetables, flowers, and fruits for commercial use. Okay, dear students, have you seen near our school there are some fields which are growing flowers, different kind of flowers. Have you seen? Yes, definitely you have seen. The fields they are growing flowers. So what does it mean? They are doing the horticulture. Means why they are growing flowers on a large scale? Means for commercial use. Yes, dear students, here I want to mention what does commercial means. Okay, I will further discuss with you this kind of thing. Just I'm telling you, commercial means for selling in the market. Okay, now the farm system. Agriculture farming can be looked at as a system. The important inputs means what we are putting into the field are efforts, seeds, fertilizers, machinery. Okay, machinery and labor. As I've told you about our efforts, that will be included in labor. That are our inputs, and what we get, that things are our outputs, like crops, the produce, the crops that are produced in the farms, that are our output. So look at the figure here. By this you can easily able to understand, these are the inputs, the things which are required for the agriculture. Then processes there means with using all our inputs we are growing the crops, that is the process. And output, what we are getting with the agriculture, that is our output. As I've told you about the human factors, so that is the physical inputs we have already discussed, the labor, machinery, chemicals, storage, where we have to store, and sunshine, temperature, soil, these all we have discussed, the factors that are required for agriculture. So some of the operations involved in plowing, sowing, irrigation, weeding, and harvesting, means all the things which we are using for growing the things into the field, there are processes. And the outputs from the system, they include crops, wool, dairy, and poultry products. So these three areas which are required for the agriculture: input, process, and output. Now the types of farming. So dear student, farming is practiced in various ways across the world. Depending upon the geographical condition, or you can say the climatic conditions, demand of produce, labor, and level of technology, farming can be classified into two main areas. One is the subsistence farming and next one is the commercial farming. Now the commercial farming is there. Okay, subsistence farming. This type of farming is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Yes, my dear students, you know that in India, all the or not all the, you can say, the maximum people, they are growing crops only to fulfill the needs of their family. Means the farmers, those who are having small piece of land, they are growing crops only for the fulfillment of the basic needs of the family. So they are included in the subsistence farming. Now the features of the subsistence farming. This type of method is used in the subsistence farming. They are the traditional methods. Low level of technology can be used. Only the household labor, mean the people, those who are the members of the family, maximum means the member of the families, they are included in the farms or in the growing of crops, and because they are producing a small output, because they are having small piece of land. So means subsistence farming can be done only a small piece of land. Next, I have told you to fulfill the basic needs. To fulfill the basic needs. So these are the features of the subsistence farming. So subsistence farming can be further classified as intensive subsistence and primitive subsistence. In intensive subsistence, agriculture, the farmer cultivates a small plot of land using simple tools and more labor. Means less tools and more labor is required in that area. Climate with large number of days with sunshine and fertile soil permit growing of more than one crop annually on the same plot, in which the rice is the main crop. Intensive subsistence agriculture is prevalent in the thickly populated areas of the monsoon regions of South, Southeast and East Asia. So where the thickly populated areas are there, in which the population is more, there they are having the small piece of land, because of the large number of families. They are dividing the large piece of land into smaller ones, and then again, if a family is having small piece of land, again they have to divide it into further into their kids. So again a smaller piece of land is there. So in thickly populated areas, they are having small piece of land, so they are not able to use the technology. Next is the primitive subsistence agriculture. It includes shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Yes, dear student, shifting cultivation. Now it is not in the trend, you can say, means the people or the farmers now they are not using the shifting cultivation because it is banned by the side of the government. Earlier it was practiced in the thickly forested areas of here it is a Amazon basin, but it was also done in India also, but it was done before the independence. So at that time the people, those who were the tribals, they lived in the forest areas, so they don't have their own lands with them. So what they do, they just clear the one piece of land by cutting and burning of trees, and then they grow seeds on that piece of land, and they live on the same place for 2 to 3 years. So after 2 to 3 years, when they saw that now the soil is losing its fertility, then they leave that piece of land and move to the next place for the same process. So such kind of farming was included in shifting cultivation. But in India, now it is not there, I think so. It is banned by the side of the government because of the some of the disadvantages. Like the main disadvantage is the uh, large cutting of trees, you can say, deforestation. Second thing, the soil loses its fertility and it becomes infertile within 2 or 3 years because the farmers, they are not paying attention towards the soil. So, in the thickly forested area of Amazon basin, tropical Africa, parts of Southeast Asia and Northeast India. So these are the reasons of heavy rainfall and quick regeneration of vegetation. Okay, the process I have discussed with you. A plot of land is cleared by felling the trees and burning them. The ashes are then mixed with the soil, and crops like maize, yam, potatoes, cassava are grown. After the soil loses its fertility, the land is abandoned and the cultivator moves to a new plot. So, shifting cultivation is also known as a slash and burn agriculture. So, dear students, this can become in MCQ form. The tell the another name of what your you can see the what is the another name of shifting cultivation, and the another name of shifting cultivation is slash and burn agriculture. So, this question can become in MCQ form. Okay, nomadic herding. It is practiced in the semi-arid and the arid regions of Sahara. Means the areas where they are not good for cultivation. The Sahara is a desert area, Central Asia and some parts of India like Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir. This type of farming can be there. Herdsmen, they move from place to place with their animals for fodder and water along defined routes. This type of movement arises in response to the climatic constraints and terrain. Yes, my dear students, because they have to feed their animals, so they always move from one place to another in search of good grass and water. And definitely for this purpose, they only herd the animals like sheep, camel, yak, goats, and most commonly reared animals. For the purpose, because these animals, they provide them milk, meat, wool, and other products to the herders and their family. And these herders, they depend on these animals for their livelihood. So they just earn money by selling these products in the market. Next is the commercial farming. As I've told you, this type of farming, the crops are grown or the animals, they are reared for the sale in the market. The thing is, the things are produced for the selling the things in the market. The area cultivated and the amount of capital used is large. The one feature that I'm telling you, that is, first of all, the crops are grown for the sale in the market, for the sale. Next thing, a large number of, or you can say a large amount is required. That is its second feature. Okay, required. So wheat and maize are commonly commercial grown grains. Major areas where commercial grain farming is practiced are the temperate grasslands of North America, Europe, and Asia. These areas sparsely populated, means less number of population is there. Then also they are having large farm. This is the third feature of the commercial farming, large areas for crops. Large farm spreading over hundreds of hectares. Severe winters restrict the growing season and only a single crop can be grown because a large number of farms are there, and due to the climatic conditions they are not able to grow more than one crop. Next, in mixed farming, the land, next one is a mixed farming. The land is used for growing food and fodder crops and for rearing livestock. Now in mixed farming, both the land can be used for growing crops and for growing of fodder for the livestock, for the means animals. So that can be there in mixed type of farming. So I am showing some pictures that is related to subsistence farming, means only the family members, they are doing the work on the farms because they are having small piece of lands. So one more picture which are showing that one or two family members, they are growing the fooder crops for their animals and for growing crops for their own basic needs, to fulfill their own basic needs. Now look in this, it's a very big farm which shows that a good machinery can be used on a large scale of farm, or you can large size of farm, so that a large production can be produced. Remember one thing, dear students, that machinery or technology, a good technology, can be used only the places where the size of farms are big. Because if you look into this machine, it cannot be used in small piece of land. So one more picture is there which shows a farm which is a large or you can say a big farm which on which the crops are grown for the commercial purpose, means for the sale in the market. Like this, we are having a large farms which are having a large hectares on, you can say a hectares on which the things they are grown. Now the mixed farming, as I told you, that it is practiced in Europe, Eastern USA, Argentina, Southeast Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. Next, I'm going to talk about the plantations. They are type of the commercial farming where single crop of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana or cotton are grown. Large amount of labor and capital are required for plantation. So first of all, the things are here. For the plantation, the mainly crops are tea, coffee, sugarcane and cashew, rubber, banana and cotton. And next feature is large number of labor and capital are required. And the plantation agriculture can be done near the factories, so we can easily provide the raw material to the industries or the factories. And that's why the development of transportation system is there, or you can say a good network of transportation system is there. So it is very much essential in such type of farming, because if we are having good transportation system, then we are able to provide the raw material to the industries or to the factories. And if no network transportation is there, good network of transportation is not available in the place, so we are not able to provide the raw material to the industries. So more plantations are found in the tropical region of the world, that is rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India and Sri Lanka, and these are the some examples of plantation areas. So dear student, today we have discussed the different types of farming that is available to us, types of farming, and this is all for the day. You have to revise it, and rest of the things we will discuss in our next video.